All right, let's get into our next conversation now. The Nigerian government recently prepared the corporate governance guideline CGG 2023, which are intended to facilitate the advancement of good corporate governance across all sectors of Nigeria's economy. According to the Financial Reporting Council of Nigeria, the SME document, or CGG 2023, is expected to improve the investability of MSMEs, leading to increased access to capital, talent management, market fit, and job creation. And according to Ambassador Ahmed, the corporate executive of such a framework under the SME CGG 2023, will boost the investability of the micro, small, and medium enterprises. So let's get talking now. We have our guest, Sheye Olorotimi, founder, MSME Africa, joins us virtually now to talk more on this. Thank you for joining us, Sheye. We appreciate you for coming on board.
Thank you very much for having me this morning. How are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm very well. It's good to have you join us again. So talk to us, how excited are you about the president's speech, particularly the palliative measures being rolled out targeted at the small and medium enterprises, particularly micro, small and medium enterprises?
Yeah, thank you so very much. I mean, I'm beyond excited, and I like the fact that the attention is not even just on, I mean, now we talk about nano before you even talk about the micro, small and medium enterprises now. So the intervention from the government is looking at the nano enterprises. Those are the ones that do below 5 million naira per annum. Looking at the micro, those that do between 5 million and 25 million, the small enterprise and the medium-sized enterprise. And I have a couple of those things that government plan to do. They plan to fund 75 enterprises with great potentials to kickstart a sustainable economic growth. They plan to do interest to manufacturing companies at 9% per annum. But more importantly, they want to energize the MSME sector and the informal sector with about 125 billion naira. And they want to spend 50 billion on conditional grant to 1 million nano businesses between now and March 2024. And I'm really excited that if we can pump these resources into 1 million micro enterprise, nano enterprises, the economy will be the better for it. Yeah, so right now we have about 39.6 million MSMEs, but looking critically at the fact that a large number of them are nano and micro enterprises. So pumping that amount of money into 1 million nano enterprises would definitely boost the potentials of those enterprises. And of course, the effect will trickle down on the economy. I mean, I'm sure we remember that MSMEs contribute close to 50% to our GDP and are responsible for up to 80% of employment in the country.
That's right. That's right. I know we'll talk about the corporate governance in a moment, but I just want us to dwell, of course, on the president's speech and his plan. 9% to the informal sector. Do you think that is significant enough to bring about a change or turnaround growth in the both, yes, in the nano business sector of that particular sector? So talk to us about that, especially your sector, particularly the micro, small and medium enterprises.
Yes, it is very significant. I mean, looking at the going interest rate right now, so official is about 22% thereabout when it comes to interest rate. But you know that even some of these nano enterprises, they go get capital for as much as 30%, 40% per annum. And so the cost of capital actually is a lot. A lot of them go to loan apps where they are charged an arm and a leg. They go to finance companies who charge them very, very high interest to access capital. So if they can get it for 9%, it is more than significant. And I really do hope that this will not be hijacked by people who are not the target for this. It should really go to the nano enterprises. And like I said, nano enterprises are businesses whose turnover are less than 5 million in a year. Imagine one of those getting access to 1 million, 2 million, 3 million naira loan at 9%. They can quickly turn around their business, do a lot of business, get a lot of revenue, and turn things around. And the interest rate will not be killing them. So it's a wonderful one. It's going to be an impactful one. And I really do hope that, apart from that, hope I'm not playing Oliver Twist, they can also give them some kind of moratorium where they don't have to start paying back the loan immediately. They can give them a moratorium of 3 to 6 months so that they can stabilize before they start staying back. And if that happens, that will actually affect, I mean, that will be a lot of benefit to the sector, and it's going to be quite impactful.
Well said. Well said. I think I'm going to organize another interview where I have to bring you to talk about this specifically and how to, especially the area of implementation and measures that will be put in place to ensure transparency is key. But let's talk about the focus of today now. As an SMEs operator, micro, small, and medium enterprise operator, how do you view the introduction of the Corporate Governance Guideline 2023? Of course, it's about investability, transparency, talent management, job creation. Talk to us about that document.
So I think that document is something, I mean, it is a step in the right direction. I think it's something that has been long awaited. So the focus has been on the big enterprises. It's been on the listed companies. Everybody's saying you need to have corporate governance. We need to stop insider dealing. We need to be accountable and what have you. But introducing this guideline, even though it's still a guideline, is such that will ensure that SMEs or MSMEs are better structured. And the investability part of it is actually the most interesting to me. So you look at the tech startups now, they keep getting investment, they keep getting funding here and there, $2 million, $5 million, $10 billion. But the average MSME does not get that because they don't have structure. They don't have corporate governance in place. The one man who is running the business can easily dip his hand into the pocket of the company and take out money to go and get a chieftaincy title or to pay his children's school fees. But with this corporate governance guideline, you are separating the business owner from the business. And it also ensures that people can see you. They can see you as a serious-minded business. And that's when they are ready to invest in you. It also means that you can attract talent because people will stop seeing you as just that one-man company. But right now, you're a company that they can see and they can trust because there's corporate governance. The individuals are separated from the company. The directors are not abusing the business. So it's actually a step in the right direction. And like I always say, implementation is what we are waiting for. But it's a good one, and I think every MSME should embrace it.
I mean, you've of course, I was also going to ask you how these, drafted corporate governance guideline will impact Nigeria's economy and business landscape. I think you've talked about that, to an extent. But what provisions within the corporate governance guideline aims to address, especially the issue of corruption and unethical practices within businesses operating in Nigeria?
Okay, so corruption, unethical practices, there are actually things I will see on a day-to-day basis. And this is because there are no enough checks and balances. But some of the provision of this guideline help to ensure that there are checks and balances. So you are not the alpha and the omega of the company. You can do anything anyhow, and then there's nothing to check. So within the framework, we have checks and balances. We have things that can ensure that you are not too powerful, just like it obtains for the bigger businesses. I think with this, it will ensure that people can trust whatever you put up as the report for your organization, right? Because they know that you are not the only one who is in charge of everything. So it also ensures that there is a lot more believability. In Nigeria, we have close to 40 million MSMEs. If these companies actually have good corporate governance, if they are well structured, we won't be where we are today. That's about 1/5 of the population. But when you see a lot of them, there's nothing to them, no corporate governance, no structure. They just do things anyhow. But what this governance guideline is going to do is to ensure that there are some benchmarks, there are some procedures that have to be followed.